the red. One final shot to earn the prize pool, to earn the trophy, to earn a chance to earn the title of IEM World Champion. A lot of earn there, all right? I was a little...
And you didn't even include that seed at IEM Katowice.
That's what he's saying, a chance at that title, a chance at being the IEM World Champion.
Earning things left and right, of course.
But only a chance.
Thank you, Siren.
Yeah, but guess what? There's no chance of level 1 completely being botched. Because everybody's just fanning out.
Hey, wait till the champions hit 2 before passing judgment.
Focus, gentlemen. Of course, very passive in the early game thus far. We have to keep our attention focused on the bottom lane. We've seen just about every other matchup in this series so far, but Kalista, not a champion we've seen for the entirety of this tournament. Did we see it at Worlds at all?
Yeah, no. I think we may have seen it one time, and that was really like off kill. It was really kind of off, but still, against an Ashe, it's a little strange because the way that Kalista is coded is your attack speed is basically, it's the attack speed, but also your jump distance is based on the level of your boot, so you go further based on what boot purchase rank you have, but then the speed at which you cover that distance is based on how much movement speed you have. And then your wind-up time is your attack speed. So Ashe actually slows you, so you spend more time actually leaping, which means that if you're slow enough, you actually get less auto attacks in, because then you don't complete your actual jump fast enough, you don't get another auto attack. So Ashe is actually a very good champion to play into Kalista, and that's what's surprising because they already saw it come out.
You've been waiting a few months to put out that nugget. Very well spoken, though. The other thing that I think I noticed here is that Hylissang loves to pack up and leave lane, and now so much of the potential damage, attack speed in particular, is gated in the passive between Veritas and Hylissang that you lose so much of the ability. You effectively can't take any semblance of even trades as a Kalista unless your Thresh is right next to you.
And of course, we think back to that change that forced Kalista to stay with her Oversworn at every stage of the game to be efficient, and that's really when she fell out of the meta. However, Hylissang, Veritas, a lot of this has come down to some of the early laning plays, so maybe just focusing there, maybe content to keep this lane phase going. And meanwhile, the rest of the lane stays relatively even. Vizicsacsi seems comfortable on the top side.
Yeah, and this bottom side, because they were able to start a camp, get a lot of the spears into the romp and all, or the Krugs and all that, they're able to actually get a level advantage. So Veritas being able to zone out double red very early on and have that early level 2. But it has been actually pushed back a little bit here. Hylissang going to hit 2 a little bit later on.
Exile and Maple, even so far, of course, you talked about the Orianna being a potential counter pick to the Cassio in the early stages, and I'm wondering what we need to look for here.
Yeah, the way that I see it is that Flashwolves actually got winning lanes across the board in the early game. Later on, it's just you have to watch for how the team fights play out. How is Maple going to actually zone out Exile? And if Exile can get into these team fights, there are a lot of squishy targets on Flashwolves, but there is an Alistar. The Alistar has ways to punish the Cassiopeia, who plays into mid-range.
I echo your thoughts there. Picking for composition, sure, with the Cassiopeia, but the main story there is, as you saw it, is still very tanky, is that the Cassiopeia is such short to medium range that the ability to punish once you get points to both Q and W as Orianna means that almost every single non-all-in trade is won by Orianna, barring out of just taking a lot of damage from those Twin Fangs. So it can be very difficult for Exile to actually stand up to this Orianna after a few levels. Worth knowing that, of course, Orianna base damages on the Q and W very low in the early game.
Yeah, a lot of their damage is in that clockwork windup, so people will take things like E first and try to auto-attack trade with the shield. But right now, it's all about Exile shoving out, goes back for the early tier timing, back for a pink ward as well, and up a little bit in CS.
Happy to have the early tier move and Karsa spotting each other out, so not going to see any immense amount of aggression between these two. Much more worried about showing up to their lanes than fighting each other. Chachi going really low on the top side of the map, but will be safe. Meanwhile, the bottom lane, pressure initially in favor of the Unicorns of Love, however, has started to balance out as Alistar has a few more levels under his belt.
Not too much to report here in the early game. That's not surprising, really. Remember, this is the single game to decide the champion. See a lot of comfort from Unicorns of Love. I mean, returning to the Rek'Sai makes perfect sense. The 2 wins in this series was on the comfort pick of the Rek'Sai. And given how much is at stake, expect things to be pretty passive. If there's any game breaking, that will be probably a big snowball, because in general, everyone's going to be on the back foot, whereas at the start of a best of 5, you try things and try and get an early advantage. No such mindset by now.
Easy to expect passive play, of course, as you said, when the pressure is on. And interesting to see as we move forward into the game, what's going to be the next step. Veritas, of course, Kalista, once again, not a pick we see a whole ton of. Itemization, a big question mark. But Exile, maybe overstaying as well from the mid.
He should have flashed a while ago if he was going to. He's got to wait for the Rek'Sai. Here comes
Rek'Sai. Waiting. Rek'Sai on the way in. Can they turn this one around? Karsa, has he been the one who's going to get turned on? Move going to back off. Exile only burning the Ghost there in the end.
Yeah, able to call move over right in the vicinity, so it was perfect for him. But now his back timer a little bit off, but he forced Maple back earlier.
Moving forward, Chachi does a decent amount of damage.
Might
Picks up the Buckler in a good spot to start this trade. Could this be the first one for the Unicorns love? Q flash. Backs off in the end.
It was 2 auto attacks away from the kill. One thing I noticed once again, Karsa short on his axe, even though it would have been able to pick it up. Damage output I don't think was a problem. It was more about hitting the CC. Would have naturally passed, would have picked it up, went short on the axe, and that stopped there being a kill onto Exile. He didn't even have to use his flash.
Exactly. One of the axes missed, and then the other one was easily dodgeable because Exile wasn't slowed. So gets away. And then on the top side, though, this is a big win for Vizicachi in the one-on-one because he gets a better back timer. He gets to push this all the way in.
Sort of getting aggressive though. Hylissang now caught out, but he's not going to tank tower. But Karsa is here. Veritas, if they want to get a kill, they need to get it now. They're flashing forward. Veritas is going to grab one. Oh! Lancer now, but Maple is here to punish. He doesn't have the level 6, but they could cut them down. Veritas not going to get anything. Does hop over the wall. Nice play. Karsa going to get in the end with the axe. What was a beautiful play to start from Unicorns of Love is completely trumped by the movement from Maple.
That was an outrageous outplay. Ended up not mattering, but now you can see why they stick with the Kalista Thresh, because clearly they're on the same page.
The style points matters a lot to me, so I thought that was really awesome. That was really well played, like you said, on the same page. A little bit of a level advantage as well for Veritas and CS. So now that he killed the double red on the Ashe, he doesn't pick up any more here, and that was an aggressive play for Flash Wolves. They started that one off, but it is an advantage for them after the 2-on-1.
I mean, you just have to watch. Again, we're going to focus on the outplay. They get first part, that's a small thing, but both players kind of presence of mind and knowledge of cooldowns. Super smooth, beautiful to watch, but ended up not actually being conclusive. Veritas' mechanics clearly are on point with this Kalista, so any buffs come towards that Kalista, we can see someone who's going to be very happy.
This is why she's in the gutter right now, right? Exactly, because I mean, she is a very difficult champion to balance. She's in that Yasuo tier where the A-tier people, the people who can play it at a very high level, very difficult to actually play against. So we'll need some changes, though, in the future. We'll see.
Move now coming down to the bottom side of the map. Maybe looking to rinse and repeat here. Of course, got a lot of summoner spells. Briefly turn our attention to the top lane, however, because Vizicachi using this EXP advantage to try to force a...
That's such a strong part of the Poppy's kit as well, is that the Grasp of the Undying, the Buckler actually counts as a melee attack, so you get full value from it when you throw it at the enemy. You get more HP back, boom, and then you pick it up and trade again.
And I think actually with all the changes to Grass, it's more about the damage actually that's coming out onto the Ken. You know, that it was rebalanced to do a lot more damage rather than necessary healing. There's max health damage, so clearly Ken not going to be building much of that, but it's just basically a one trade for the Poppy without committing whatsoever. And I agree, it gives so much more laning presence, especially compared to old Poppy, but in general Poppy has evolved in so many different ways after the rework.
Veritas and Hylissang taking complete control of the bottom side, however, Sword Art caught out. Veritas level 6. Not going to follow up there.
It's really big.
Ooh.
Exile.
He's trying to be cheeky there, but now he got chunked out. This might actually be him sacrificing his blue, because move is over here. Karsa decides to invade, and he knows that the ultimate is down from the Cassiopeia, so he might risk it a little bit here.
Karsa walking back and forth, potential for him to gank top or look mid lane. Move now headed in, Maple potentially in trouble, flash to safety.
Still got the flash though, so it's going to be worth it for Move to take his time to gank that.
It's really big that Vizicachi has won those early trades. We already saw a game where he won as the Poppy against Nara in kind of an unfavorable matchup and ran away with the game, but I'm not actually referring to that. I'm referring to the fact that he's actually got pressure in the lane against Kennen, and it wasn't Olaf rotating and Kennen having the inside track and just killing people. Speaking of killing,
double red has no flash.
Forward, Exhaust has gone down. Veritas getting pulled back into the fight. Sword Art could be next. The Kalista really unstoppable once she gets on top of that target.
Veritas is bodying double red. CS is 80 to 51. They've already denied 29 from him. Absolutely disgusting what he's doing in this bottom lane.
And of course, double red, a big question mark. And it was a similar story for Veritas for so much of the regular season in UOLCS. This guy was not a top tier 80 carry, was not competing with Reckless or Forgiven. But now on an international stage, when the pressure is on in Game 5, pulls out a pick that I would say is poor on a power level compared to a lot of the meta picks available, but brings it out and is showing why he wants to use it.
And then you look at the Alistair pick, and we saw obviously Mada bring this back out at Worlds, surprise us in the world where we expected only there to be those range supports. There's kind of one trick for the Alistair in this lane. It's very, very punishing trades when you have the W passive and just the Ren coming out from Kalista. So Flash Pulve and the headbutting into turret, that was kind of the one trick. Ignite on cooldown, the Flash on cooldown, not much the Alistair can do.
Well, it's also an Ignite on an Alistar, right? He's going for the Thunder Cow type build there, but against the Kalista, if you run Exhaust, you can stop all that Ren damage. You can actually really stunt him because they will try to stack up spears, and if you get the Exhaust at the right time, you force them to either hold their E for a very long time or hold on.
Swordart potentially in trouble, goes back in, gets pulled back. Great use of the Kalista ultimate there. The spears are in. No mana? No mana to come in. Doesn't pull out the spears in the end.
Yeah, whether it was range, whether it was mana, they don't secure that kill, but the pressure they have gotten with the unfancied Kalista pick is really impressive from Unicorns of Love, who managed to shake off that previous game. Not an easy feat to do. And look, really competitive in Game 5.
Exactly, but we have seen the Flash Wolves, and here's the thing, is why we keep talking about the Unicorns of Love, is that the Flash Wolves, #1 in the LMS, right? Unicorns of Love, if they end up winning this, they've taken down the #1 North American LCS team in TSM, and then they would have taken out the #1 Flash Wolves LMS team. That is actually incredible for a team that hasn't been a #1 team in the UOL.
And look, of course, there are other asterisks. We won't mince words. You know, they are both with roster swaps. But what it says about Unicorns of Love going into 2017 with a settled roster, I think, has to be counted upon. Unicorns of Love, so close to Worlds. Spice, we've heard some of their players may be rotating. A lot may be changing. It's good to see Unicorns of Love looking strong for spring split.
Exactly. That's what their goal is 2017. They're looking at that. If they qualify for Katowice, then, or World Championship, then they're able to actually get some more experience under their belt. And that's what they want to do, is they want to be a competitive team, because they've always been thought of as that Chaos style, and also the team that's in the middle of the pack in the ULCS. So close to Worlds, so many times, playoffs every single time, but still haven't been able to go.
I mean, to me, the most impressive thing is, you know, we talk about all the stills and as if the Unicorns of Love are the same team, but they've iterated on the lineup. Players have left seeking better opportunities, and you have to obviously put those in inverted commas, given how consistent Unicorns of Love have been. The fact that they've kept these results consistent when only Vizicachi and Hylissang are the players that are in common with that roster that was fielded 2 years ago at IEM San Jose is really impressive on multiple fronts for the organization. This organization has consistently come close to the precipice of taking a title, and it would mean so much if IEM Oakland was the first in their trophy case.
Oh, move spotted as he attempts the Ocean, but you're absolutely right, Papa Smithy. They may want to stick around anyway. Karsa taking their time on this one. They're just going to have this donated over to them in the end. Swordart potentially in trouble. Veritas ready for a fight. Moves over the wall. Not what he wanted to get, though. He is now set to fall. Olaf going to throw the axe. Does go wide. Swordart looking for the engage. Kennen on the backside move, delaying him from the fight as long as he can. Now pulling back. Hylissang taking their time. Fate's Call up and available. Going to save it as long as possible. Not going to... You already used. My apologies. Thought it had not been.
That's also 5 in the bottom side, and they're going to keep going in the... going in.
Instantly 5 kills now in the favor of Flash. Was a 3-kill advantage. Not quite the gold lead in their favor, as Poppy will break the first tower.
Which is big. It'll end up getting them a lot of this gold back onto that Poppy, who now is a big split push threat against the Kennen. Can't be really dueled out there, but Maple
absolutely monstering it out here in the mid lane. Swordart on the way in, not going to be able to get it. Exile has to flash, but that's the, I think, the 3rd or 4th time that Exile has missed that petrifying gaze.
You have to say the ultimates have kind of been the one area where Exile has struggled. Cannot question his poise, his ability to rise up to the level of his opponents. Maple certainly no slouch on the side of Flash Wolves, one of the best mid laners in the world. But the ultimates, first Orianna, now Cassio, left a lot to be desired.
Exactly, looking for a gank in the mid though, trying to punish Maple for being a little bit far up and a little aggressive, but still just gonna get some wards down in his jungle.
And the goal just about dead even, the first brick, paying off for Unicorns of Love despite the difference in kills. Bottom lane still very far behind. Double red 1-2-3 to 79 farm to the 106. Chachi's doing well on the top side with the 2 kills for Kennen, starting to balance it out. And overall, very much a close game here as we approach the 15-minute mark. A lot of potential fights here. Really Maple, the one who's pulling out on top in the mid lane, though.
To confirm, will be the Blade of the Ruin King for Veritas. There's certainly no new age build coming through. Probably shouldn't be surprised, does synergize very well with that item.
Taking down the tower as fast as possible. Move potentially caught out once again. A lot of punishment going down onto him. Gets pulled back. Tunnel not going to be enough. Flash already down from the earlier fight.
Yeah, caught out, but there's a TP behind there trying to punish. Here comes Chachi.
Maple exhausted. Veritas throwing down what he can. Gets pulled back as well. But it's perfect positioning coming in from the Unicorns of Love. Flash Wolves caught off guard. Karsa potentially in trouble. Out goes the Fates call. In goes the Thresh. And down goes Karsa.
Might be able to get more.
Moving forward, Sword Art Octep under the tower does have the ultimate up and available. Vizichachi doesn't care. He's going to move in. The Ignite goes down, however, and he's potentially in trouble. It's going to make it out. Exile, bad ults to start the game, but comes in when it counts.
Unicorns of Love say you can 5-man bot. We can do it too. 4 people in the bot side move, ends up ulting to the top to try and cover it.
Yeah, because they forfeited so much in terms of leaving the top lane, they needed the objectives on top of the kills. They get that. 3 kills and an outer tower at bottom. Actually leads up to almost a 2,000 gold lead for Unicorns of Love.
Exactly what they wanted. Flash Wolves thought they had the solid collapse. We'll look at it one more time as Move did, start out by going down.
Yep, they were standing still. They were completely baiting him in there. And as soon as Move went for that Scuttle Crab and unburrowed, they know that he has to take that little extra second to go back down. There's a cooldown on that tunnel.
That's a cooldown on the teleport. Remember, it was the teleport that led to the last kill and then the turret going down in the bot lane. This time it was Poppy, no answerable rotation available for MMD, and they certainly got the maximum from this situation for Unicorns.
Absolutely what they wanted, and just beautiful positioning for Veritas, but another fight is broken out. Veritas isn't going to get knocked down. Another advantage going over to the Unicorns of Love, almost 2K gold in their back pocket. Give them the edge over the Flash Wolves. Karsa not done.
It's crazy that the fast push is actually happening for the team that has the Kalista, obviously not a lot of range, a lot of AoE wave clear, and the Poppy versus Kennen. They're actually well winning the turret race. They got the bot lane turret. Poppy had already soloed up top. Now they're roaming around for kills and potentially assaulting the mid lane turret from Flash Wolves. We've seen team comps kind of used against themselves pretty frequently during this tournament, and this seems to be another game of that ilk.
Looking forward, of course, still a very even game as we are about to get back in. Just another quick one. Flash Wolves, though, now barreling down the mid lane, ready to take a turret in response, and even the gold back up, at least for the most part. Flash Wolves not in a position to respond, although Chachi moving down, maybe looking for the flank here. Pulling back, Cannon Creep's getting cleared out. Maple just taking his time to clear the lane. Ash trying to recoup some of the farm deficit as Veritas has been roaming across the map, but that is the 6-2-0 Kalista. While she may be weaker, she's still a terrifying snowball champion if she does get ahead.
Yeah, but if she does get ahead, you just have to worry really about the Kennen, possibly the Alistar, but you have the Poppy to stop the Alistar from getting in. If the Poppy just stands on top of the Kalista and hits W, it's so hard to get to her, and this Olaf will get kited around.
And there's Cassiopeia as the other carry on the team, and she is a damage hyper carry, so it's important that Kalista still will fall off. First 2 items feel great on Kalista.
Exile caught out. I don't think he's going to have any option to get out of there. Uses the Petrifying Gaze, but it's too little too late. Chachi tries to save him, but Maple's going to grab the kill.
A really good play there as well. Sword Art, he's leaving the lane. He's trying to get more picks and trying to actually even up the gold here so Flash Wolves can still be in this game, and they very much are actually capitalizing on the flashes that have been down from Flash Wolves. He got the flash earlier from Exile, revisits for the gank.
Nice follow-up overall, and MMD now going to take down a tower and put the gold once again in the favor of the Flash Wolves.
Yeah, Sword Art exiting lane is so important from the laning phase. Was a disaster from a 2v2 standpoint for Ashe and Alistar, but now with the ability to initiate from global range and the Alistar's roaming capability, this is the phase of the game where Flash Wolves need to start arresting the momentum, and honestly, they don't have to do too much, despite how big the Kalista is. Remember, Kalista has 100% of the kills on the side of Unicorns of Love, 6 out of 6, and Flash Wolves, although it feels like they've been behind this game, even in gold and ahead in kills.
And of course, we look at the tools available to shut that Kalista down. Headbutt, Pulverize at a moment's notice, combined with the Orianna. You have the ball delivery system ready at a moment.
Right here, UOL setting up at the Drake. It is an Infernal Drake. They think that somebody's going to check this eventually. There's no vision here.
Oh.
There goes the Ashe. Nice.
Knockshot coming in. Good patience from Flash Wolves, not taking any risks here. Flash Wolves, that ping ward's still up and available. Sword Art has the ultimate, can break any potential CC. Potentially going to deliver the ball into the team, though. Sword Art trying to find his way in. They're backing off now. Miasma going to deny the headbutt in. TP onto the backside. MMD is there. Veritas is in trouble. That's all their kills, but Fade's call going to keep him alive. MMP trying to make it out. Petrifying Gaze going to hit Sword Art, and Sword Art alone, waiting as long as possible. Moving forward, that's it. Exile, Veritas still alive. Carson trying to bully him off. He does so much damage. Blade of the Rune King keeping him healthy. Lots of healthy carries. Flash Wolves edging out that fight, but so many low health bars.
Flash Wolves don't look to be able to actually turn onto the Infernal Drake. Everyone has to back off, lick their wounds. Close fight. Flash Wolves come out ahead.
Gold dead even. Such a close fight overall. Veritas barely able to survive. Hylissang with the Flay, keeping him alive, keeping the cannon away.
Yeah, and Maple there with a great shockwave as well, catching Exile out of position and making sure that they can pick him up here. And UOL looks like they're going to pick up this Drake.
An aggressive decision, but this is the power of Kalista. Has absolute control over these objectives, outsmiting easily if anyone tries to contest.
Making all jugglers feel really obsolete.
Did say she was difficult to balance, so
Yeah.
situations like that.
Maybe that should go, you know, so I could feel like a jungler again.
I mean, they could give a lot of power budget, you'd have to think back in that situation, but regardless of that,
design conversation.
And then there's the 2-item power spike. Blade the Ruin King Hurricane has always been the big window of power for team fighting Kalista. Ability to range initiate with the ultimate, and then these 2-item spike. Gonna rely on Cassiopeia for damage late game, though. Doesn't get better from here for the Kalista.
Yeah, for the Kalista, I will say, though, against double AP, usually going Maw into a Bloodthirster makes her so damn hard to kill.
Sure.
You have 2 to 3 sources of lifesteal, and they can't burst you down fast enough that you start recovering.
Now, I really like that build here just because, as you say, brittle front line. If they don't burst you and you lifesteal through it, not a lot of threat. Doesn't even matter if you don't have items like Last Whisper or any sort of Infinity Edge crit modifier, because you will be able to take down the squishier members on the side of Flash Wolves. So already has an all-magic mantle in the inventory. Think you're smack on. It's probably going to be Hex Strings into more Malmortius next.
Move spotted out and Poke going down onto him. Potential Kalista builds that could offer the power Unicorns of Love need to close out here. NMD taking a little poke.
Yeah, there's the possibility it's also a QSS, but hold on. Maple's down here too.
Chachi
gonna
kick the Orianna out. Nice play overall, but there's a fight in the jungle. In the meantime, Sword Art, has he been the one that's caught out? Veritas on the way, but to the bottom side has to respect the Orianna. His Thresh not quite with him. Sword Art separating him from the team. Fate's call up and available. Can he get in time? Yes. Veritas pulling him to safety. Throws it back over the wall. He wants Maple. The chain knockup. Chachi's not there to spawn though. The AoE CC is too much. The damage coming in. Veritas is killing members left and right, but Sword Art gets the combo in. Cassio looking for the kills. Double Red's gonna drop. Exile is going massive. The carries are left alive, and Unicorns of Love monster through that fight.
It felt like that fight seesawed multiple times during it. I thought Exile was too late, but still has that big early damage on the Cassiopeia just with the single item Morella Nomicon. Cleaned it up, and they also have the inside track to mid lane, and we'll get a structure from it as well.
Exactly, because they had their 2 carries stay alive there. It was a 3-for-3. It ended up being an even trade, but you all get a little bit more back from that, and that is big for Orm.
Kalista, Cassio up and available. Pings going down into the Baron. This is a terrifying duo that could cut it down in an instant. The ward is there. Flash Wolves can contest, but the TPs are coming in. Unicorns of Love looking for the Baron.
Are able to clear out the most forward vision and also the other vision there as well. Cassiopeia Kalista. You cannot ask for more Baron threat. Can't ask for no more pauses either.
Could you?
The pause giveth and the pause taketh away.
Such is life.
Of course, going to take a chance to look at that last fight as we sort out the small issue here.
We're really complimenting Hylissang and his play on Thresh in the previous time that we saw it. And then consider here that, of course, he's the one in control of what he does and goes in. You think, okay, Cassiopeia is actually nowhere near. This is going to be a disaster, but actually ends up working out for the Unicorns of Love.
Yeah, that was actually insane that he went back in there, but it ended up working out for him. His exhaust wasn't quite up just yet, so he ends up going down because of all the damage that ends up on him. And then, boom, ends up getting 3-for-3.
Really bold decision there from Hylissang, but of course Sword Art, they get the combo, they think that they get what they want, but they're hitting the tankier members. The Kalista left untouched, the Cassio coming in late to the fight. Didn't look like an ideal start, honestly, when Hylissang went in. I thought they set up for the perfect Orianna combo, but the strength is in the Kalista and the Cassio as well.
And the strength in the Kalista, I was talking about it before, where that he does have the Null Magic Mantle, could be a QSS, but he also bought another one, so maybe he's even going for that on top of it, right?
Why not both when you have 8 kills at 22 minutes?
The final build will probably be Mercurial Scimitar with a Bloodthirster, with a Maud Malmortius, so you're so hard to kill. You have 4 sources of lifesteal from your inventory when you end up getting the Mob Rock. So absolutely ridiculous to try and kill him.
And actually super effective with the builds we see. It's actually a death cap on as second item on the cannon, death cap expected on the Orianna. So just getting that extra 40, 45 magic resist early won't be trivial.
It's very big.
No.
The big thing, though, is no Abyssal Scepter here to help the double AP composition. Sometimes Kennen will get that for the CDR and make sure that he has a really low one and can get constant Ws. Orianna, it's not always the pick that he'll go for, but you know that the Kennen wants to get in the thick of the fight, so we may see that soon.
Both teams moving around the Baron, the 23-minute mark, approaching later and later into the game. The gold dead even, dragons even, of course, an infernal to an ocean. And those small skirmishes, the ocean will heal the Flash Wolves back up. However, Baron remains the center of attention. Poppy clearing waves, Kennen going down to the bot lane to do the same thing, but both teams ready at a moment's notice to threaten the Baron, and Flash Wolves have to be especially careful here.
I think Unicorns of Love, actually, I would say need to more worried, just because, remember, they don't have teleport on Poppy, so there's more freedom for the cannon to make plays around the map. Sure, they don't have the magic penetration, but they still do a lot of damage with this double death cap being completed. So Vizicachi definitely needs to be around his team. It's pushing out a wave, back in.
Guys on Sword Art.
They have a lot of ways to engage, and the Alistair over the wall is certainly one of them.
It's a Mata special. How did the cow get there? Who knows? But Maple looks like he's going to get hit.
Oh, trying to get soloed out of the wall. Will he even be able to use the shockwave? No, not. But can he turn back to get into this fight? Exile moving forward. Veritas unstoppable. The Olaf is not fast enough. The Ragnarok not enough. Double Red going to get caught out. The shockwave going to save his life. Maple keeping his team healthy. Now comes the Kennen. Now comes the Alistair. Not going to pull the trigger.
They just killed the Smite. This may be UOL going towards the Baron. They have the Callista. They'll do so much damage to it and have that big Ren on top of a Smite.
Callista, Cassiopeia, and double secure. This should be Baron for Unicorns of Love. But remember, Kennen has ultimate.
Ashe is alive as well. Maple gets hooked. Are they going to be able to get more? Maple played back. The box goes down. Exile is still up. MMD trying to take down everyone, but it's not enough. Exile's alive. Veritas is alive. Sword Art now set to fall. Simply not enough. Tries to buy time for double red, but Cassio, Callista alive and well. Baron now set to fall for the Unicorns.
Question is, can they ignore the poke from Ashe and take this? They don't need Smite. They have a Callista, and the damage from Cassiopeia and Callista is insane on Baron.
But Cassio still has ultimate. If you walk too far forward, ooh, almost.
A lot of spears approaching the 2K mark. Callista should be able to take this soon. Going to get it.
Ooh, actually went over to a poison.
So close in the exchange, but that is a definitive lead for the Unicorns of Love. 3K in their favor. The Baron buff should let them break down these tier 2 towers, and how you said, have to respect the Flash Wolves, maybe a little less so now that they have the Baron buff backing them up.
And look at a different meta, you're trained to think. Callista, Cassiopeia, Baron at 20. That's just the math equation that happens when both of them are taken, but they've been out of the meta so long. They went for the first time at 20, didn't find it, but assertive Barons, even without Smite, are possible when you have a super tank like Poppy that can just shrug off the Baron damage.
Exactly, and you want to keep going towards those Barons. It's actually really clever by UOL because you have that 2-item power spike. You know you're stronger than the Ashe. Start going towards that objective, pick it up, or at least get a fight where you are stronger, and now they get an Infernal right afterwards.
The
Happy
dice
times.
roll, yeah.
Double Infernal.
Dice roll moves in their favor once again. Double Infernal, an excellent thing to have. Of course, Callista itemizing the raw AD. We'll be happy to have that. Cassio as well with a potential 6 items, gaining more than any other AP champion in that percentage boost.
Have to be careful.
Chachi getting aggressive. They have to respect the combo. Shockwave up. Hylissang moving forward.
He looks for
Hook onto Maple. Can he get Maple locked down? The Shade CC. Kennen trying to turn it back. Exile's alive. The Callista is untouched. Unicorns of Love are here to win, and Flash Wolves are caught off guard. Hylissang makes the hero play. Veritas going in for the cleanup. Unicorns of Love, they're going to break the base.
The death timers are super long already. 30 seconds. They're going to try and close it and win the tournament here.
They have a gigantic minion wave. They may be your IEM Oakland champions.
Death timers are long. We're far enough in the game. They may have enough time. Veritas cutting this one down. Karsa not going to be enough to hold it. Unicorns of Love, so many game 5, so many losses, but not today, Oakland. Unicorns of Love will be your IEM champions.
We saw them all the way from the first round of this tournament, show that they are here to play. Stuck with this roster for the tournament, stuck with the roster for 2017, and their team teamwork was levels above the other opponents here. It took 5 games, but to me, the strongest team that attended this tournament comes away with the victory.
They take down the #1 NALCS team. They take down the #1 LMS team. The Unicorns of Love will claim their